Hello knitters! Today's video comes to you in 4 parts, just like the 4 beating chambers of my heart. That was kind of a gross reference to Valentine's Day. Sorry about that. I'm not really much of a romantic, and this might be why I'm still single. Part 1, I'm not in trouble. More on that later. Part 2, lumpy shawl mess. It's ready for its edging, which unfortunately at this moment in time means that it just is going to be a lump in the yarn bowl. There's 2 reasons for this. The first one being the edging is going to be 736 stitches. 736. And the other reason is because I'm actually working on a deadline project right now and don't actually have time to work on a shawl or, well, anything else. Part 3. Did you see my new sock pattern? Keeper of the Flax was released earlier this week and people seem to really kind of like it, which I'm thrilled about. I'm really glad. It's a fun combination of just a little bit of twisted stitch cabling and some lace, and the results are something that I'm really pleased with, and I guess other people kind of like it too. So if you haven't checked out the pattern, there's a link to the pattern somewhere on the thing. I don't know exactly where. The other thing that I would just suggest or ask, if you have a chance, check out the Surrey sock yarn. Little Gidding Farm was really generous in providing yarn support for this project. Their sock yarn is really nice, so I enjoyed working with it. Hopefully other people would enjoy working with it. So yeah, if you have a chance, check them out. There's a link to them also somewhere where links go. I'll figure it out. Part 4. Well, part 4 kind of starts, well, remember this sweater? I mean, not this one. Yeah, that one. I had to choose the dancing clip. That sweater was made with Bare Naked Wool's confection, and Bare Naked Wool's happens to be the yarn line that is produced by Knitspot, aka Ann Hansen. Since I know Ann Hansen, did I just say that I know Ann Hansen? Yes, I know Ann Hansen. I met her a few years ago when I took one of her classes. We've stayed in touch. We exchange emails every once in a while. So yeah, I know Ann Hansen. Where was I? Oh, yes. So since I know Ann Hansen, I sent her an email that had a link to the blog post that had the pictures of the sweater on it, because I thought she might like to see how her yarn gets knit up in the wild. I mean, people like that, I think. I was expecting that Anne might be nice and gracious and say, oh, what a nice sweater, good job, go you. There was also part of me that was terrified that she might actually reply back with something to the effect of, how dare you do that with my yarn, you horrid creature. There's maybe like 0.2% of me that's riddled with insecurities. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Anyway, Anne's response was a little bit more than I expected. First, she left a comment on my blog, as did David, Mr. Knitspot, which was really sweet of them. Then she also sent me an email. There's a cat in my frame. Kitty tail. Well, if you're gonna do this, you have to be in the frame. Can you be in the frame? Anne also sent me an email which, well, to paraphrase, said something to the effect of, I really love your sweater. By the way, did you know that we're collaborating with other designers? Would you be interested in working with us? I was on muscle relaxants when that happened, so as far as I knew, this might have been a hallucination. So I actually forwarded said email to a friend of mine just to make sure, because I wasn't entirely trusting my senses at the time. And my friend replied back and said, yep, she really did say she wanted to work with you. My immediate reaction once I realized this wasn't a drug-induced dream was to, well, yeah, it would have involved more jumping around and dancing, but my back was still sore and I was on drugs. So that's an approximation. I replied to her email saying something to the effect of, am I interested? Of course I'm interested. What can I do? That led to a flurry of email exchanges back and forth and a photograph of a swatch, which I did sort of show on my blog. So if I was in trouble, I was in trouble a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not in trouble because I'm totally allowed to talk about this. So she also sent me yarn support. So remember this yarn? This is also Bare Naked Wool's. This is the Better Breakfast fingering in the waffle colorway. This will become a pair of socks, or well, not this one. Actually, it's the other. She sent me 2 skeins, which was nice. So there's another skein that's in the process of becoming a pair of socks. Here, let me see if I can do this without getting cat hair all over it. Look, sock in progress. This is actually the second one. The first one's fit. Maybe I should show you the first one. Hold on. See, this is the first sock of the 2. Based on that little swatch, there were some changes from the swatch to the actual sock. That's what happens. But you know, I'm really kind of thrilled with the way this is turning out. There's, you know, all this texture stuff. There's this little bit of lacy business sort of traipsing around the sock. Traipse. Maybe I'll call it traipse. So yeah, so it goes down the leg and down the instep, and then there's another one on the other side, but that at least that stops at the heel. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out because this was a really fast design job, and sometimes those don't work out nicely. So this sock, and its meat, when it's finished, will be sent off to Knit Spot World headquarters, where they will do the actual photography and the final graphic layout of the pattern and whatnot. I think it's going to come out sometime in April or the spring. Let's say spring, since I don't know actually the date. But yeah, so it'll be out sometime in the spring. It'll be out through all the KnitSpot channels. So it'll be in their Ravelry store and probably on their site and other places. I'm sure when it actually does release, we'll talk about it at great length because this is like really exciting news for me. Look for other work between me and Bare Naked Wools later this year. We're talking some fun things. I'm excited. The cat just ran away. In the meantime, I need to finish this sock, so thank you for watching. Now go knit something.